elected official in Pennsylvania to endorse the next president of the United States of America, State Representative Mike Verb. Thanks so much, Mike. Thanks for being here, buddy. We appreciate you so much. So grateful to be with all of you today, joined by my wonderful wife, Karen Pence, and our daughter, Charlotte Pence, on the road with us all across America. And it was great to hear Mike's words. I have to tell you, though, people who know me well know the introduction I prefer is a little bit shorter. That is, I just like people to know I'm a Christian, a conservative, and a Republican in that order. And it is exciting to be with you today. It's now just a little bit more than a month ago that I accepted our party's nomination to run and serve as the next Vice President of the United States of America. And the road to the White House goes straight through Pennsylvania. And I got to tell you, the night we got the telephone call, we were chatting with some friends from Fox News over the weekend about it. I was standing there 11 o'clock at night behind my desk in our little office in the governor's residence in Indianapolis. We were told the call was coming. I heard the phone ring, my wife at my side. I picked up the phone and I heard that familiar voice on the other end. And he said, "Mike, it's going to be great." The enthusiasm, the energy, I said yes in a heartbeat, because you have nominated a man who is a fighter, who is a winner, who gets up every day and will fight to make America great again. And I know Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States of America. You know, I love to just say, people ask me sometime, what is it about Donald Trump? And I tell them, you know, Donald Trump just gets it, you know. I mean, he's the genuine article. He's a distinctly American leader who drives all those sophisticated people over in Europe just crazy, doesn't he? I mean, he's a doer in a game usually reserved for talkers. And when Donald Trump does his talking, he doesn't go tiptoeing around all those rules of political correctness that people put in the way of men and women that want to make a difference. He tells it like it is, from his heart and from his mind, and the American people hear him loud and clear. And campaigning with him and for him has been one of the great privileges of my life. I mean, to be out on the stump with Donald Trump and to see great people like you all gathered today in Pennsylvania, people that are gathered with him in states across the state. Donald Trump and I both know this isn't about him. It isn't about us. This is a movement that will make America great again, because the American people are going to make it happen. It's been so inspiring to be with him, though, to see that broad-shouldered, clear-eyed, strong leadership that he offers, but also, as Mike just mentioned, last Friday in Louisiana, in Baton Rouge, to be able to travel through those neighborhoods that had been destroyed by 100 years flood, and to see Donald Trump walk into the homes of people. The one family, 83-year-old man and his wife, had 7 feet of water in their home on a lot that he'd spent every day of his life on, literally born in the house at the front of the lot. And Donald Trump walked into that home, put his arms around that family, and said, "You're going to rebuild, because I can tell the kind of people that you are." He's an encourager. He's a man of compassion. But he's a man with a boundless confidence in the American people. And I saw it on high relief on Friday, and the American people are going to see it when he becomes the next president of the United States of America. You know, the choice in this election couldn't be more clear. The American people can elect someone who literally personifies a failed establishment in Washington, D.C. Or we can come together here in Pennsylvania and all across this country, and we can elect someone who's a leader, who's a fighter, who will bring real change to Washington, D.C. He will up end the status quo in the nation's capital, and he will get this economy working again for every American in every community. And I have to tell you, it is really extraordinary when you think of the choice on the other side. At a time when the American people are longing for something new and different. They're longing for a change of direction at the highest levels in our national government. The other party has nominated someone with a stale agenda and the most predictable of names. So let me just say here in Pennsylvania today, for the sake of our security, for the sake of our prosperity, for the sake of the rule of law and ensuring that the highest standards of integrity are in the highest office in the land, let's decide here and now in Pennsylvania that Hillary Clinton will never be elected president of the United States of America. I mean, the record you can roll through, it's hard to cover in the time that we have, but whether you look at the record of this administration or Hillary Clinton's role as Secretary of State, at home and abroad, it is a record that has resulted in a weaker America on the world stage and a stifled American economy at home. I mean, it was 7.5 years of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton's policies on the foreign stage that have literally seen an erosion of American strength on the global stage. And for all the world, we open up the newspaper, turn on the television, and it feels like the world is spinning out of control. And if you recognize it, it was Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama whose decision to precipitously withdraw American forces from Iraq forfeited the hard-fought gains of the American soldier in Operation Iraqi Freedom and literally created the vacuum in which ISIS was able to grow and to compromise much of those areas. You know, I see a few familiar caps in the room. Would the men and women who've worn the uniform of the United States of America who are with us today raise your hand and allow us to say thank you one more time for your service to this country? Thank you for your service. You know, it was Hillary Clinton who actually initiated that disastrous agreement with the radical mullahs in Iran. $150 billion goes to Iran with so-called promises about their nuclear weapons program. And then we learned just a week ago that even though the New York Times this morning said it wasn't so, we delivered $400 million in cash the very day that 4 Americans were released from captivity in Iran. Well, the American people know a ransom payment when we see it, whether the big media will admit it or not. And let me promise you, when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States of America, we won't be paying ransom to terrorists or terrorist-sponsoring states. They'll be paying a price if they threaten the American people or detain or harm our citizens. You know, the truth of the matter is we can't have 4 more years apologizing to our enemies and abandoning our friends. And when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States of America, we will rebuild our military. We will give our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marine the resources and the training that they need to get the job done. We'll rebuild the arsenal of democracy, and we will hunt down and destroy those who threaten our freedom or our people here at home. America will lead from strength. And we will have peace through strength once again on the world stage. But it isn't all about a failed record abroad. It's about the contrast of ideas and leadership here at home. This is really about our prosperity. You all here in Pennsylvania, just like us back in Indiana, know that any progress we've been able to make in this economy has really been in spite of the policies coming out of this administration rather than because of them. I mean, it's extraordinary to think that Hillary Clinton is essentially running for a 3rd Obama term. She wants to continue the same economic policies that have resulted in the weakest economic recovery since the Great Depression. in the lowest participation rate in our labor force since the 1970s. And most heartbreakingly of all, there's nearly 7 million more Americans living in poverty today than the day that Barack Obama became president of the United States. Hillary's plan, more of the same. More taxes, more regulation, more Obamacare, and more of the war on coal that this administration has been advancing with persistence and determination. Well, I got to tell you, people like Gary Johnson and his sons Brian and Kevin know better what it takes to build a business. Gary was working down the street, working in a trade himself, when a couple of decades ago he scraped together the money to be able to buy this company. 11 employees, now more than 300 strong here at TechTube. It's a story about American entrepreneurism. And I got to tell you, I know his mom is here. And where is Cecilia at? Can Mom stand up? Mom, go ahead and stand up. Thanks for raising a guy with broad shoulders like you're outstanding, son. God bless you. I was traveling. I'm sorry she's not here. My mom was with me yesterday over in Iowa, all right? So we know where credit is due when you raise a man like Gary. But this is a great story. And the truth of the matter is that Gary's story is really the American story. I mean, I grew up in a small business in a family, and just like Brian and Kevin, we worked at our house, all right? I mean, we were in the gas station business, and I was out there working as a gas station attendant, washing windows and filling tanks by the time I was old enough to get away with it, right? I mean, this is a family business that is going to continue to struggle under the misadministrations in big government and higher taxes in Obamacare of Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. The truth of the matter is they like to tell us this economy is the best that we can do. But all of you in this room know it's not the best that we can do. It's just the best that they can do. And when Donald Trump becomes president of the United States of America, we're going to have a lot more stories like TechTube all over America, because we're going to cut taxes across the board. We're going to end death taxes once and for all. We're going to lower corporate taxes so businesses in America can grow in America. We're going to repeal Obamacare, lock, stock, and barrel. And we're going to end the war on coal once and for all and release American energy for American workers. Donald Trump has a plan. He has a plan that I believe, just like he likes to say, is going to get this economy moving again faster than you could possibly imagine. He believes in the boundless potential of the American entrepreneur. Being one himself, he understands that, you know, it's about getting government out of the way and letting America be America and do America. And that's his vision. Now, Hillary Clinton, when my running mate gave that speech on economic growth about a week or so over in Detroit, she actually said that his projections about a growing economy were, quote, wildly unrealistic. All right? Well, I think the only thing that's wildly unrealistic is electing the same people with the same bad ideas and expecting a different result. We're going to get this economy moving again. We're going to have a stronger America at home and abroad. But the foundation for a growing America always begins with the rule of law. And in Donald Trump, we will have a president who enforces the laws of this country, secures the borders of this country for the people of this country, who builds a wall and will stand without apology for the Constitution of the United States of America. You got to remember this. When you're talking to your neighbors and friends here in Pennsylvania, remember, we're selecting a president for the next 4 years, right? But that president will actually define the course and direction of the Supreme Court of the United States for the next 40 years. So let me say to all of you, if you care about the rule of law, if you care about limited government as enshrined in the Constitution of the United States, if you care about the sanctity and preciousness of human life and the ability of states to reasonably address that, if you care about the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution, then we have to decide here and now in Pennsylvania that the next president to make appointments to the Supreme Court of the United States will be President Donald Trump. Now, you know, it's all about a stronger America. It's all about rebuilding our military and a growing economy, and it's all about the Supreme Court and the direction of the country. But it's about our expectations in the highest office in the land. Now, it really is amazing, you know, in this campaign sometimes it feels like 2-on-1. You get up every morning, I got to turn the television on with a stick most mornings. You know, it seems like one day after another. Your media's spending more time on what Donald Trump said in the last 30 minutes and that they don't have time to pay attention to what the Clintons have been up to for the last 30 years. But we're going to correct that. This really is about having the highest standards of integrity in the highest office in the land. And we all know the cascading controversies coming out around Hillary Clinton and the Clinton family. Just a few short weeks ago, emails came to light that seemed to provide direct evidence that favors were given by State Department officials to foreign donors to the Clinton Foundation. We heard that the FBI discussed opening a public corruption investigation into the Clinton Foundation, but was shut down by the Obama administration's Justice Department. And just yesterday, when the FBI, we learned from the FBI there's 15,000 more emails that Hillary Clinton didn't turn over. And Judicial Watch released more than 700 pages of new documents that again show that Clinton Foundation donors were given direct access to the State Department. Hillary Clinton went on Jimmy Kimmel and actually said, she joked that her emails were, quote, so boring, and just wondered aloud what a few more emails would make. You know, the American people are tired of pay-to-play politics in Washington, D.C., and it's all going to come to a crashing end when Donald Trump is sworn in as the 45th President of the United States. I mean, it really is amazing. The Clintons have now announced that they're going to end fundraising for the Clinton Foundation from foreign donors and corporations if she's elected President of the United States. I mean, they're essentially saying to their foreign donors that they can make a down payment on Clinton access in the next administration between now and Election Day. And the American people aren't having any of it. The Clintons, let me tell you, Donald Trump and I have both said it's time for them to come clean. Hillary Clinton should shut down the Clinton Foundation immediately, and the Justice Department should initiate an investigation by a special prosecutor. The American people deserve to know the truth, and they deserve to know it before Election Day. You know, through all of this, Hillary Clinton is missing in action. Hillary's in hiding, and Donald Trump is everywhere. And I want to promise you, when Donald Trump becomes president, the days of the rigged system that benefit the favored few are over. Donald Trump will uphold the highest standard of integrity in the highest office in the land, and his only special interest will be you, the American people. You know, this is a remarkable time here in Pennsylvania and all across this country. It's a challenging time. Between now and November the 8th, we have our work cut out for us. And the reality is that Donald Trump and I are out there fighting each and every day, fighting to make America great again. But we're not fighting alone. Whatever it may look like in the national media, whatever it may look like on the front page of your newspapers, I can promise you, I see in your faces the men and women that are gathering at events. When I'm campaigning with Donald Trump or for Donald Trump, it all says the same thing. And that is that I think we are rapidly approaching a day in November when the American people are going to demand government as good as our people once again. And we're going to change the direction of this country. But it's going to take all of us to do it. It's going to take each and every one of us to do it. So before I leave you, let me challenge you with this. Let me challenge you that I hope you heard something today, maybe for the first time. Maybe it was a reminder. You know, I come from the school that believes that sometimes it's important to pay more attention to what you've already learned. And when you pay more attention, then go tell somebody. I mean, I want to promise you, what's happening across this country in the course of this campaign is not about one man. It's not about a team. It's not even about one political party. This is a movement. The American people are stepping forward in ways that I've never seen in my lifetime. And I just want to challenge each one of you to go out and tell somebody. Tell a neighbor and a friend in this community. Pennsylvania will loom enormously large in the direction that America will choose this come November. And so if you've heard something that motivated you, something that you feel inspired to tell someone else, just go home and pick up the phone. Go talk over a backyard fence. Stop somebody at work. Stop somebody at your place of worship. Send out an email. Tweet if you must. But tell somebody what the stakes are in this election. And if you have any trouble remembering it, let me remind you one more time. Okay? Here's the choice that we have. If you want a president who will protect this nation, rebuild our military, confront radical Islamic terrorism, and destroy ISIS at its source, if you want a president who will restore law and order to every city and every community and stand by those who wear the uniform of law enforcement all across the United States of America, if you want a president who will cut taxes, grow our economy, squeeze every nickel out of that bloated federal bureaucracy, and repeal Obamacare lock, stock, and barrel. And if you want a president who will enforce our laws, rebuild our borders, build a wall, and uphold the laws of this nation for the citizens of this nation, and if you want a president, as I said before, who will upend the status quo in Washington, D.C. the day he arrives, and uphold the Constitution of the United States every day that he serves, then I'm here to tell you that you have but one choice. Your neighbors have but one choice, and that man is ready. This team is ready. This movement is ready. And Pennsylvania is ready to elect Donald Trump as the next president of the United States of America. And we will. When we do that, we will make America great again. Let's get to work, everybody.